crazy how much it's evolved. I mean, my boss is, in his 60s, and he talks about when he was a broker and it was all on a Rolodex. It was all on index cards, and that was the business. And that's how they created value. And so it's interesting how, our worth or our value that we bring to the table to our companies has changed because data has changed the way we share information.
Yeah. And allowing you to be in the field more, and the value of being in the field, you can really realize that value.
Absolutely.
And so you are on the hunt for land, right? A, on the hunt for land, and then B, help with the entitling of it. So what's that look like these days?
Well, these days, those yields in the IE are looking very, very thin. And the entitlement projects are looking harder and harder. I mean, if you don't know already, it's every other city. Every other city has thrown out we don't want more warehouse. Yeah. And they're throwing out moratoriums. They're doing everything they can to make it that much harder for us to get our projects approved. So, in evaluating everything, you've got to consider the path to entitlement more now than ever. Equity sources are very sensitive to the risk. It's the riskiest part of the business, undoubtedly. We'd love to get a lot of entitled sites ready to go, but those generally require an excessive premium, or entitlement projects that are worthwhile the time. It goes back to these big bombers. I'd much rather entitle an 800 or a 1,000,000 square footer or 600 more than I'd want to entitle a 100 or 2. The time management is likely the same, and the cost to entitle is not that far off. Your consultants, the labor, the legal work, the environmental consultants, they're all going to cost effectively the same. It doesn't matter if it's a 60-acre site or a 20-acre site. So those are things that you kind of have to evaluate. But the problem is all of these large box sites are picked over. There's not there, and if they're out there, everyone's bidding on them. So how are we going to be the competitive bid, on these very highly sought after sites? So we haven't found a lot of success in chasing those sorts of deals as of late, but we do have something under contract that was marketed and entitled, with a little bit of risk-adjusted returns. I think it's extremely attractive for us. So we're excited about doing it. It's smaller buildings.